All right, we're here with Frank Twinkle Toes Triggs. How's it going, man?
It's weighing day. It's, I'll let you know in whatever, 20 minutes or 30 minutes where we make weight.
Man, they should start calling you the Duck Walk Trigg, not Twinkle Toes, man. That was pretty nice. You didn't fall over and hurt yourself.
The duck walk is a test they give you in the Texas commissions to get for your license, and it's one of the most embarrassing things you can ever do. And what's funny is that most guys are dehydrated, tired, and can barely stand up, and they want you to duck walk just before you make weight. It was a little ridiculous. But
I'm surprised they don't make you go like this. Hello, 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 and count back from 10. Repeat after me.
Repeat the alphabet backwards, yeah.
I would lose that one. And I'm not
I had to think about it. Like, what the hell?
Z-A.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. All right, Frank, you've got a hard fight in front of you. Why don't you speak? Who are you fighting today?
I'm fighting Ed DeWeese, 25-year-old, actually a sensation. He's always been on the cusp of being one of the best guys out there at the weight, just never really made the cut up that. He gets just about there and then gets dropped off. He gets a couple of great fights and then he falls off again. Hasn't fought in about a year. Tried to fight in August, had a problem making weight. So there's a little controversy with that, from the commission side, all that. But it was just one of those deals that he's obviously a younger guy. He's had 50 matches. He's had more matches than I have. He's faster, stronger, supposedly. It's on paper, it's going to be a really interesting fight.
Yeah, shh, don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
Well, all he has to do is watch this 5 minutes before the fight.
Well, you're kind of balancing your rock star career versus your fight career versus your family life. How has that gone? How have you been able to train and still do all your TV appearances and all that kind of fun stuff?
Well, you have to be in constant communication. My clothing company and my entertainment company, Trigonomics is my clothing company, Triggs Inc. is my entertainment company.
Say that a little loud. I want the name drop.
The shameless name drop. Triggs Inc. is my entertainment company. Trigonomics is my clothing company. What we're doing is that I realize that I can't do it by myself anymore. I have to hire a team. So I have a sales staff. I have an assistant. My assistant has an assistant. Like, we have a payroll now we have to deal with.
You know you've made it when your assistant has an assistant.
Not really. Once you see my assistant and his assistant, you'll understand why it works out the way it works out. They're two brothers. It's a little quirky.
Okay. Wait a second. Frank Trigg has two guy assistants.
Yeah, I have to.
That's kind of scary.
No, have to. No women allowed. No. Oh no women around. Because my assistants have to travel with me. We have to go on the road quite a bit. Like, my assistant's here.
You're right. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't.
Not if you have a girlfriend or wife.
My wife will not. It was one of the first stipulations. It cannot. There's no women allowed. It's like, okay, fine. There's no women allowed. We just can't have it with a female assistant, which is fine, because I don't really want to.
So do you find the gay guys basically to help you out, to keep you?
Actually, my assistants are straight, but yeah, I mean, that was like one of the first goals, was finding a gay guy first. But then even then, you're on the road with a gay guy for 2 weeks at a time. So.
Makes you kind of scared there,
Yeah. Well, to keep the balance though, is that you just have to be in constant contact with everybody. As soon as I signed the fight, I knew that I had 8 weeks to get prepared for the fight. So I had to call everybody and say, look, Fox, unless it's real important, I'm not coming in to film anything. I gotta get ready for this fight. Dustin, you have to handle my assistant. He has to handle all the day-to-day stuff of the clothing company, and I have to kind of sit around and just sign off on stuff when it's completed. I give him my notes and stuff, but he runs around, goes to the designer. He runs around, makes sure the manufacturer's making the right stuff. He runs around, talks and yells at everybody now. Instead of me doing it for the 8 weeks, we're getting prepared for the fight. And then, of course, the wife is obviously with me every day and every night, so she kind of knows exactly what's going on. I have to be in constant contact with her too, what's going on, what's happening.
I found that kind of interesting. I mean, I think that's how you make it work. I mean, a lot of these rock stars and stuff, their wives stay at home and they go out on the road and there's no communication there. Speak to that communication thing. Has that really helped keep your relationship together in your busy life? Yeah,
and it's weird. The way that Nick and I communicate is different. We actually have a conversation. We talk to each other. It's not like, why'd you do this, and yelling, and all of a sudden you get a bickering and the guy takes off to the strip club. We actually talk about what we're doing. We talk about what's happening. So you talk about the strip club before you go there? Exactly. Okay, exactly. Just making sure. Sometimes she'll join. But we really talk about what's happening, what's going on, because we have to if we want to make this thing work. And then she also talks. She has full access to Ron Fraser, my trainer, and she has full access to Doc Roberts, my doctor, and full access to Randy Couture, my other trainer, and like she talks to all my trainers, and because I may come and like, practice is great, and like, oh dude, look like shit, and like they know because he's looked like shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's one of those deals where they know, they know what's going on no matter what I say, and she can kind of feed it out, and then she can fish it out of me what the problem is and whatever. And then Dustin knows my mood swings, so he knows when to talk to me, when not to talk to me, and it's a balancing act. It really is a balancing act. But the thing you have to do first is family first. So my son calls me. He's in wrestling this year now. He's spending time between JV and varsity. He needs me. Everything else gets stopped For the 10 or 15 minutes I got to talk to him on the phone. When I get my daughter on the phone, everything else stops until I talk to my daughter. I mean, it's just kind of how it works. You always have to balance that. You have family first, and then when it's time for a fight, that 8 weeks you're locked down to fighting, and starting Monday morning, we're back in the ground on trigonomics again, and I'm back full bore in all the meetings and yelling at everybody.
Now, you know, I didn't even recognize you. I mean, I saw you at Art of War. You were yoked. You were, you know, you were pretty buff.
About 215.
Yeah, 215, yeah. And you're freaking like, I didn't even recognize you in the corner there. You're damn skinny. I mean, how far out did you actually have to start cutting to get to this level?
Well, when you're 215, you're trying to you know, fight at 185. Obviously, I was really out of shape at 215. First thing we had to do was start doing cardio training, which we did with Tim Sauter Physical Therapy. Every morning at 5:30. I'm up strength and conditioning at 5:30 to about 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then go home, do my radio show, take off for a couple minutes, and then I go back and I hit mitts with Ron or do jiu-jitsu with John Lewis at 11 o'clock. Then we go back and we spar at night at 4 o'clock. But it takes a lot, you know, to maintain that. And the one thing to get close enough is I really had to start 8 weeks out because I was 215. Now,
and plus your age. I mean,
yeah,
it's
I'm
harder
35,
to drop it.
yeah.
I mean, you're 35. Edwin Dewey's is 25. You know, at 25, it's a lot easier to drop it than it is at 35.
Now that we're at this stage, though, because I did so much stuff early, I was really concentrating on my cardio, really concentrating on my technique, really trying to make sure that I put everything together. Working out 3 times a day, really watching the diet every meal, you know, for 8 weeks. When we got here, I was 2 pounds under yesterday. When I was,
like,
I literally was
time
just,
for a steak.
You know what I did? I went out and ate. I was like, wow, that's the first time in a long time I got to eat. And I actually ate a little dinner last night, and I got this morning, and I was only 2 pounds over this morning. And so I just had to cut a couple of pounds, and literally it took me about 30, 35 minutes, and I was down to weight. It was easy. I didn't have to do much at all. But I put all the time in for the last 8 weeks. Someone says, well, how hard is the cut? Well, the day of was relatively easy. But you look at the whole 8 weeks, getting up at 4:30 in the morning is no picnic.
And that's better for your body, to be honest. I mean, your liver isn't straining, your kidneys are doing better at this point. You're feeling a lot more healthy, I'm sure, than if you had, you know, decided that you're going to drop 15 pounds 2 days before.
Well, we were talking, actually, Ron Fraser, my trainer and I were actually talking about this, and Tim Sauter, my physical therapist, and I were talking about this at separate instances, that my cardio shape is actually better now than when it was at 170. You would think it would be different because I'd have to cut all that weight and be in really good shape to be down at 170, but I had to deplete my body so much to be at 170. I had no energy to work. I couldn't really even work out or concentrate in the practice. So now I'm like walking into practice, I'm bouncing around, I'm able to maintain, I'm able to work on my cardio, I'm able to work on my technique, and so things got easier because I had more energy to do these things. So, you know, and for me now the cut's relatively easy. I left Vegas on Tuesday to go to LA. I actually had to film one thing for Fox, so I had to leave on Tuesday to go to LA, and I was 194 when I left. When I checked my weight again Wednesday night here in Dallas, I was 3 over, and then I kind of worked out a little bit and ate what I thought was a normal meal and thought my weight would be still about 3 over, and then on Thursday we were, you know, 2 under. So it's just,
you know, it's all that sweating and you do in Texas, you know, and all that humidity, right?
Yeah, well, you know, it's not too bad right now. Actually, it's pretty freaking cold outside, and it's the reason why I left this portion of the region. That was why I left and went further west because it's warmer.
It's 30 degrees, 35 degrees out there, but it's about 90% humidity, which just takes it right out of you. So
I don't know what it is, man, but it worked. Whatever it was, it worked.
All right, well, thanks, Frank. Thank you for taking the time with talking with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the ring and your arm raised.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, appreciate it, bud.